Now, you have tuned in on a very special occasion. It is the occasion I'm calling Chapter 2, or maybe the next chapter. And I mean this for the podcast and also because I'm fired up today with birthday energy. Yes, the recording of this episode is on my birthday. And there's nothing I love more on my birthday than to give those I love, and that includes you, a gift. So I hope you will receive this podcast as my gift to you. I love that you're here taking care of yourself, that you're living an open and curious life, and that you want to feel better or keep feeling great, and you're putting the time in. I love you for that. Well, okay, honestly, there is one thing I love as much as giving, and that's receiving. Yep, I'm a Leo, and I love gifts. And you being here, doing this with me on my birthday, is the best gift I could get. And I'm going to take all of this powerful energy, and believe me, there is a lot. For those who are in the know of astrology, this will come as no surprise to you. But if it's new for you, let me just tell you that I'm gathering this big, beautiful, auspicious, abundant ball of energy because it is a full moon. It is Jupiter Cazimi. And if these words are like, well, full moon will be. But if Jupiter Cazimi is like, what? Let me just say, it's good. It's very, 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 very good. And no matter when you listen to this, I am sending you the energy of it for all of your hopes and your dreams and mine and ours in our big whole world community. So today we are going to do things a little differently. And we're going to save dessert or birthday cake for the end. So if you're here for the extended guided meditation and mindfulness time, you will get to drop in and relax at the end. Today is a plush bonus episode since I've been away. And if you want to break this podcast into 2 parts, go right ahead. Just do whatever you need to do to hear this whole message, because there is a gift in here for you. I know it. I don't believe in accidents, and you're here today because you are meant to hear something that's just for you to hear. And I am so glad you showed up for it. So let's take a very brief mindful breath moment just to empty your mind so you can really tune in, make the most of your time today. All right? Close your eyes, let your shoulders drop. Maybe give yourself a little shake. Maybe a letting go sigh. All right. We're taking a big breath in through the nose, feeling your lungs fill completely. Then we're taking a short, sharp, extra little inhale, and then we'll exhale completely through your mouth in any way that you like. And we'll do that 3 times together, starting now. So big breath in, little extra sip, letting go. Big breath in, little extra sip, letting go. Big breath in, little extra sip, letting go. Okay, that's it. Open your eyes. This one shakes out nerves or jitters. It unclenches your shoulders and heart, and it's called a physiological sigh. And 3 breaths can really shift the energy, ground the energy. So here we are. Now, what are we talking about here today? If you've been following the podcast, you'll know that, as I mentioned, I took a chunky break, a decent-sized break after episode 17. And I'll get more into that, but I just want to say thank you for supporting this podcast and for subscribing. Please subscribe and share it so that we can all be spreading the light and goodwill. Now, one reason I took a break was because I was leading a yoga retreat in France. And well, I met somebody in France this summer, and it was life-changing. Oh, he's the strong, silent type, very tall, confident yet humble, imposing yet approachable, and extremely good-looking. His name? Mont Blanc. This is the highest mountain in Europe, located in the French Alps in Chamonix. The mountain has much to teach us, and I have developed a love affair with this particular mountain, and I am here to share with you some of the things I learned from my summer fling with Mont Blanc. But first, let's just rewind. So it all started with a dream. Well, actually, two dreams. I had two dreams that came true this summer, and my mission today is to make sure that your dreams are coming true too. Big, like world travel, or small, like a good night's sleep. Whatever's possible for you in this moment that you're dreaming about, I want to help you with it. That's my birthday gift to you, to show up for you the way people and the yoga practice and all that it entails have shown up for me, and to help you show up for yourself. We have a much better chance of our dreams becoming realities when we are calm, clear, and in touch with our heart's desires, and when we have a little help along the way. So my first dream, my husband and I had always planned to have a honeymoon in Paris. But we opened our yoga studio, Liberation Yoga, only 3 weeks after we were married. And it was a 24/7 venture. And we were busy with our theater. And then with our child Clementine came along. And then there were finances to consider and pets. And then working and life. And much like the poignant Pixar movie Up, which is not just for kids, by the way, we didn't get there. And time passed. And then he passed away. And it turns out that our daughter Clementine is also a Francophile. And I had this vision that we were supposed to be in France, and it had to be this year for my wedding anniversary. And soon after I had that vision, I received an email from a retreat company in Chamonix, inquiring if I would be interested in leading a retreat there in June, which is when our anniversary is. Now, I just have to say, this is quite obviously another example of the universe lining up, right? Kismet, divine intervention, synchronicity, spirit, whatever you want to call it. This was a magic moment, and my heart leapt, and I said yes. And we began the plans for 1 week of a yoga retreat in Chamonix in the French Alps and 1 week in Paris. Now, this was not an easy thing to coordinate, to prepare for, to plan. So many reasons, but it was absolutely the thing that my soul knew we had to do. And I know that not everybody can make every dream happen lickety-split, but I just started saying, what if I said yes? What if that yes would start things lining up? What if I just took some steps to see how far we could get with this dream? I won't go into every single magical twist and turn, but I will say that we were wholly and fully supported by unseen forces. Things just started to happen. We were guided, we were supported, and we were led. And this was not without a number of bumps along the way, but it was so clear that we were meant to do this. And I'm urging you, if something looks impossible, even if something looks strange or the timing seems off, you owe it to yourself to explore the possibility, to just say at least one yes to one thing and see how far you get. Because if you feel that strong compulsion, if you feel that feeling that if I don't do this now, I will regret it and I may never do it at all, at least take a long pause, open your heart and mind to what it is and what if it's possible. And I definitely heard my beloved husband Gary along the way saying, go, or maybe he was saying, allez, allez, en français. Now, one of the biggest bumps of all, and which is the other reason why I had taken such an extended break from the podcast, is that a few weeks before the trip, I got incredibly sick, debilitatingly sick. And here I will spare you all the gory details, but let's just say I was not functional. I couldn't work. I couldn't prepare our plan. I couldn't think about packing. I basically had to succumb and finally channel all of my energy into healing. And I was ever so grateful to friends and family who were infinitely supportive and concerned and gave me most excellent advice, which was sort of take the advice that I would be giving anybody on this podcast or in life and do it. And that is that this is the time to do less, to accept less, as the path was less. So I did have a sort of miraculous recovery just a couple days before we were leaving. We pulled it together, and though I wasn't 100%, I was enough percent to be completely excited and massively grateful. And, well, after a long flight, planes, trains, automobiles, and all that it requires to get across the world, and double checking I had my passport about 100 times, and all of that, I found myself waking up on a bus looking at that handsome, handsome mountain, Mont Blanc, which was love at first sight, much like my husband. And I thought, this feels like somewhere brand new and somewhere that feels like home to my soul. I knew when I saw that mountain that all the planning, struggling, being sick, sorting out the home, the money, all of it was meant to be. So today I have for you some wisdom from the mountains, 6 lessons from Mont Blanc. I'm not going to presume that these will be utterly new to all of you, but I do suggest that you come into this moment with fresh ears and an open heart and ready to see with new perspective. And I know you'll hear something in a way that changes your view on your life today. So, lesson number 1. It's not how high you climb, but what you notice. FOMO, be banished. So this lesson came very early in the yoga retreat. We were told of a gorgeous and very long and somewhat taxing hike that would lead to a beautiful waterfall, a hidden cafe, more wildflowers than we could count, and numerous other tantalizing details. One of the main reasons I was so excited about Chamonix was the hiking, the nature, the view of the mountain from various angles. And as our hiking guide was describing all of the history we would learn about, the special things we would notice, and everyone was nodding in excitement, the tremendous beauty that was in store for us, a truth began dawning on me. And the truth was, after having been sick for so long, traveling so far, having a few minor calamities and pulling it back together, teaching a full day of sessions at the retreat, the truth was I did not have the energy or stamina for this hike. I did not. And I felt my heart sink, and I was a little crushed inside, and I was certainly conflicted, but the truth was the truth, and I knew it. I knew that my first and foremost responsibility was to show up for my students who'd traveled so far, and to show up for my health, and that even if my ego was in a twist about it, I needed to live in a healthy, honest, and trusting way. And to model for myself and my daughter and my students that we don't have to do everything and that pushing is not always the answer. So I did the very grown-up thing of making the choice that I would not go on this special hike. And I reminded myself that it didn't mean I wasn't strong or youthful or generally capable. It just meant it was my truth on this day. And then I practiced throughout the day something that really changed my perspective from what could have been a FOMO moment. And if you don't know FOMO or you don't know the acronym, fear of missing out, because it was knocking on the door, let me tell you, definitely knocking on the door, especially when people came back with the wonderful pictures. But what changed for me was something rather simple. I looked out from our chalet during that day where we were staying, and there's that big, beautiful mountain, my new crush. And I got the feeling that it wasn't going anywhere. I got the feeling that this mountain was going to be there for me next time if I needed it. And then this idea dawned on me. What if it's good to just save some things for later? What if sometimes we don't have to do it all or get to have everything at once? That we might get pieces of things and that they're perfect as they are for now. And instead of suffering over it, being grateful to have what we have and set in motion something to look forward to next time. And I felt such joy for the others who got to have this experience, and I knew that it was the experience they were meant to have, and that whatever adventures or lessons, challenges, and joys, they were meant for them. And mine were different on that day. And you might be thinking, well, sure, if you can go to France every year, then it's easy to say we'll save it for next time. But look, I know I can't. But it became important to me to recognize at this place that immediately felt like home. This place was brand new and also somewhere that I think I'm going to come back to someday. If it's important, I will find the way. I will find the time. I will take that hike then. And if it's not meant to be, or it lessens in its importance, I'll be perfectly fine with that. But meanwhile, I have something to look forward to rather than something I missed. And I have this view right here, this lovely, meaningful view of the mountain. And that became a refrain for us the rest of our trip. Anytime there was something that didn't work out for Clementine and I, or we didn't get to do something we thought we were going to do, we'd say, oh, good, another thing to put on the list for next time. And it was sort of fun. We got kind of excited about that. And the thing about it is, the energy started to formulate that this wasn't just one incredible thing that happened to happen. This was something that was good that we can develop on our next time list and be happy about. And we know what's possible because this dream came true and others will too. It could happen again. If that's what we want, we'll formulate the idea again. And it wasn't luck that brought us here. It was intention and some divine intervention. Because yes, we had some invisible hands laying it out and we said yes to those invisible hands. We took the hands and we let it pull us forward. And we found ourselves here, and that can happen again. So it's not how high you climb, but it's what you notice. All right, lesson number 2. Sometimes the best things are at the bottom of the mountain. Now, just because I couldn't take this longer, bigger hike, it didn't mean I couldn't take a hike at all. And so I found myself at one point with my oldest and best friend, taking a meandering hike in the cool trees along the river just down the road from our chalet. It was so relaxing, so joyful to chat, take in the beauty, having time with my dear friend because she lives across the country from me, and take it at our pace, and to just be okay with where we were, to be content. A beautiful yoga word for that is santosha. I believe that we have discussed that in a previous podcast, and it's one of my favorites. To be content with what is and where we are. And along this magical meandering river walk, not only did we get to speak in broken French at length with a local that was heartwarming and funny and see French children playing in a stream, but also I got to have the mystical event of a butterfly following me around and landing on my shoulder, which is my spirit animal from Gary and has visited me in phenomenal ways over the last few years. And I hadn't had that happen in a while. And somebody had said to me as we were embarking on this trip, you're going to meet a butterfly. And right now, on my anniversary, landing on my shoulder was this butterfly who really wanted to spend some quality time. Believe me, I think the butterfly had a bit of a crush on me. But not only all of that, we saw the most gorgeous, thoughtfully designed and executed hotel for bees, humming happily in and out of their little chambers, and it said in French and cursive, Hotel for Bees. The beautiful, simple intentionality and kindness behind the creation of this Hotel for Bees was one of the most uplifting aspects of humanity that I've seen in a while. And it just filled my heart with joy. And I knew without a doubt, this is where I'm supposed to be today. Because sometimes the best things are at the bottom of the mountain. Lesson number 3. Where you are on the mountain is where you need to be to take the next step. So in this mountain metaphor, the life, your life, my life, the life is like a mountain. It's also the analogy that we are climbing a mountain in life. We're climbing from the time that we are born, and we're at the bottom of the mountain when we start. We're getting our gear, we're stretching, we're learning how to walk and talk and read and write and connect. And all of these things that start to make us into a full functioning human person in the world, a spiritual entity in a physical form. We're preparing and then we're climbing and climbing. And if we're using this image, this theme, what we're climbing to is the end of life. And that sounds so dramatic and daunting, but that's what it is, right? That's the big climb. So if the big climb ends up, pardon the pun, ends up at the end, we've got to make sure that we are on the climb, that we are in the climb. We have to allow ourselves the gift of being present as we're moving forward, as we're moving up. The Bhagavad Gita, which is a big, beautiful yogic text, centers around this theme, the journey, the dharma, the path, and the choices we make as we ascend in our lives, like the ascent of the mountain. The way is the way, which is a Zen expression. The way is the way. Now, the good thing about having something to climb to is we know where to go. We have form, we have structure, we have goals, we love goals, and we have a reason. I want to get to the top of the mountain so I can see the view. I want to feel good about myself because I was able to make it. I want to know what's up there. I want to know what's possible for me. And if we're looking at life that way, we have a reason to keep moving forward. And it can diminish some of the fear when we realize that the further in life we get, the further in life we get. So me, at this birthday, I'm quite far up that mountain. But I just feel like it's possible to stay interested, to stay excited, to stay curious. I feel like I'm beginning every year. And yeah, aging, it's not for the timid. No, it's not. But we are still on the mountain. So whatever age you're at, you're going to have some challenges, right? And they are specific to the age that you are and the person that you are, without a doubt. But each time you pull yourself up over or through it or strategize it, you're at a new plateau. You added a new vantage point. You have a new view, and you have all the views behind you, your memories, and all the steps you took building your confidence. And then we have that ever intriguing mountaintop, that thing which keeps us going. And now I ask you the question, what is that for you right now? What is the top of your mountain right now? It's not the big, big top of your whole life mountain. Okay, not that biggie, not the end top. What is the next plateau, the next vista, the next viewpoint that you want to see? Take a moment, maybe write it down. Think about it today. And if you're in the dark and treacherous part of the mountain, if you're feeling the world is slippery and you're a little bit lost, if you're getting tired, you're feeling weak and unwell, oh my gosh, I was in the darkness before I made it to that mountain. And I've been there so many times. And you know what you can do? Just look up, right? Look up and see beyond the moment. Be in the moment. But then look up and remember there is a beyond. There's another moment. And remember that all you have to do is put one foot there right now, just one step, and you can take a breather with a beautiful view until you're ready for the next one. But as long as you're climbing, no matter how fast, no matter how slow, no matter how many setbacks, no matter how many twists and turns, you will see beautiful things. It turns out that humans are happiest in pursuit of their dreams. And no matter how incredible the coming true is, it's fleeting, because you get to the top of the mountain, whether it's the tiny mountain of the day or a bigger mountain, and it's like, amazing. Now what? That's how we are. But the journey keeps on. So make sure we look around and develop the capacity to be present for it. Developing the capacity means having our nervous system in order, that we have enough moments of calm and clarity that we can see the trees on the mountain. Not just the mountain, but each tree, each branch, each little needle or leaf. Where you are right now on the mountain that is yours is the perfect place for you to be to take the next step. Okay, you ready? Lesson number 4. I told you this was a big chunky podcast today because it's my birthday and I'm a Leo. And that's all about the big sun energy, and I just really want to give it to you. So let's keep going. Lesson number 4. It matters who you're climbing with. Who you are climbing with makes all the difference. So it might be a good moment to just take a look around and see who's in your crew, who's on the team, who's behind you, who's ahead of you, who's right by your side. And making sure that we all want to get up this mountain together. We all want to see beautiful things for each other and for ourselves. And who you're climbing with should be people you can trust. You do not want to be on a mountain as steep as life can be with people you don't trust, who don't have your best interests at mind. At mind? In mind. So just taking a moment now, think about it. Who are you climbing with? Is this the right team? Is this the right crew for this moment in your life on this mountain? And if you're finding that there's some negativity, there's some drama that's distracting. There's some toxicity that's draining, and it's more than what you can currently hold in the spot that you're on your mountain. Let yourself get a little far ahead or fall a little far behind them or move off to the side, create a little space, set a nice picket fence of a boundary, put up some tent poles, just get a little distance, okay? Keep the ones near you that are going to see you up the mountain. They're going to hold your hand. They want to be there when you've got the view. They've got their own view in mind, and they know you're going to be there for them. I was fortunate in the yoga retreat portion of this trip in Chamonix to be with an incredible group of people, lifting each other up, laughing with each other, learning with each other, exploring, getting to know each other's dreams, being vulnerable, being strong, being open, supportive. It was truly divine. And I had the extra blessing of taking off for Paris with my best friend, my sister, and my other best friend. Well, actually, I suppose they're all my best friends. My sister, my daughter, and my best friend. And we made friends in Paris, leaving from Chamonix to Paris every step of the way, starting on the train. We were open and inviting and welcoming, and we were welcomed every step of the way because who we were climbing with brought out the best in us. And the best in us brought the best people to us that we could possibly have connected with on this trip, elevating it to more than just seeing the beauty of Paris, which in and of itself, of course, is something to behold, but to really feel the heartbeat and the soul of the city and the beauty of the people. And you know, everybody's always saying such and such about the Parisians, but that's not who we met. Yeah, we had a couple of crusty baguettes along the way, but for the most part, it was an incredibly warm and embracing experience. So it matters who you're climbing with because they will bring out the best in you, and the best in you will bring the best to you, right? The power of magnetism. All right, lesson number 5. Stillness is power. What you seek is seeking you. So this one circles back around definitively to Mont Blanc himself. One day, we took a gondola up the mountain of Mont Blanc and stood right face to face with this big, snowy behemoth of a rock. And it was awe-inspiring to feel the energy radiating off of something so still. I mean, people can't stop looking at mountains like that, right? And they're not doing anything. They are literally sitting still. And we are mesmerized and hypnotized by the magnificence of the stillness. So the second part of this lesson is what you seek is seeking you, which is a quote from our Sufi sage poet, Rumi, and one of my favorites. What you seek is also seeking you. But have you ever been somewhere like in a crowded place? It could be like a theme park or big grocery store or a big department store or maybe a concert or ball game or somewhere where there's a lot of people, and whoever you're with, you go in your separate ways for a moment, or maybe you get separated for some reason, and you're both trying to find each other. And because you're both in motion, moving, and are constantly changing your point of reference, there's no center point. There's no still point. So we can't find each other. And that's what the mountain was saying to me. We have to spend enough time being still so that what we're busy looking for has a chance to come find us. So there's this balance of climbing the mountain, putting one foot in front of the other, experiencing all of the details that make up the tapestry of life along the way, that make it so rich and worth living. But also to balance those moments, which we do here on this podcast, which is why I'm so glad we get to do this together, to be still, right? To sit down together, to pause, to breathe, to meditate, to absorb what's happening, to find the presence of the mountain. That mountain energy is a magnetic force. People from all over the world are drawn to this mountain and, of course, many others. To see this big, gorgeous, still thing, rooted in the ground, feet on the earth. But the top, the summit, the crown, the head in the sky, in the heavens, in the dreams. Stillness is power. Lesson number 6. Storms make rainbows. So one evening in the yoga chalet, we were having dinner. The group was all together, one of our luscious, delicious dinners inside at this big, beautiful wooden table with these tall windows at one end that looked out into this lush green forest, and we could hear the river running in the background. And if right now you're thinking, okay, one of my dreams is to go on a yoga retreat, please keep it on the dream list and let me help you make it come true, because really, there's nothing like it. So there we are, I've painted the picture, and suddenly there was thunder and lightning and rain, just sheets and sheets of rain pouring from the sky. I mean, the sky was just bellowing rain. This deluge, it was really, really powerful, and it kind of shook us and excited us and took us out of our seats, and we're watching it and we're running to the window, and some of the windows are leaking and we're trying to clean it up. And it was just this moment where nature was taking over, and it was stunning. Watching her, feeling her have her way with us was just truly, truly joyful. And after a little bit, we hear somebody calling from down in the kitchen, and I think it was our wonderful chef named Brownie. Yes, a chef named Brownie. Couldn't get better than that. Calling and saying, we got to come and see something. We've got to come and see something. So we run out on the back porch. We all gather out there, and we're standing in the rain. We're getting wet. And there is this rainbow, this big, beautiful rainbow stretching from this endless mountain stacked with pine trees, where you can't see anything between them, just this wall of pine trees on this big mountain. And out of this launches, spurting out over the sky, a rainbow all the way across the sky to the other side. It was like witnessing a miracle. In those moments when nature just knocks your socks off and takes your breath away, all you can do is observe and celebrate that you were there to see it. For me, in that moment, I could have chosen any number of dark moments in my life. Being sick and almost not making it to the retreat that I'd planned for a year. A whole history of moments in my life that lasted far longer than I thought I could last. Moments of despair, storms that went on, being in the dark. But always, always, the storms end and the sun comes out. And in that moment, that rainbow was such a clear indicator, such a great reminder that not only do the storms end, miracles happen. Things that are even sometimes beyond what we could have hoped for. And when we're really, really paying attention and everything lines up, and maybe we have a little luck on our side, we'll see a rainbow. Something so simple. And yet, have you ever seen a rainbow and not felt lucky? So I printed up a picture of that rainbow in Chamonix, and I have put it here in the podcast office, so I will remember that rainbows exist. And the next time that I'm in the storm, I'm going to run in here and I'm going to look at it. And I hope that you will do something like that too. And I hope that whether you're sliding down a rainbow right now, standing underneath one, gazing at it, or whether you're in the thick of the storm and you forgot your umbrella and you don't have on the right shoes and you're all turned around and it doesn't feel fun and you're not dancing in the rain and your GPS is off and you're not sure which way to go, or even if there is a way, maybe just get still, just for a few moments. Remember to look up. See who's traveling with you, who you might lean on. And when the time is right, take another step. And there is no doubt you'll be in the light before you know it. Okay, those are the lessons from Mont Blanc. That is the wisdom I brought to you today on my birthday and your new day. So let's just close our eyes and let's seal it all in with some relaxing, mindful moments. Let's get everything settled and integrated. Let's assimilate. Let's blend it all, relaxing into the breath that you feel in your body. So close your eyes if you can. Feel your particular spot on the mountain of your life right now, or your particular spot in this particular mountain of the day, knowing that you were called here by something we don't even need to understand, but might feel like home. You were called here to share this moment, to be present for it, to be present for your life, to feel beingness, this being aliveness inside of you, and to let that be enough for this moment. So drop the backpack, drop the worries, drop the projections, drop the regrets, drop the plans, drop it all, and just observe the power of your stillness, the power of your presence. Feel the breath in your body. Feel the soft, easy peace in this moment. Just be with it. This is presence. This is presence. This is all we have to do right now. Just this. And notice now that at each breath there's a little space at the top. And at each breath there's a little space at the bottom. This is the space on the mountain where you stop, where you merge into the stillness of the mountain of your life, where you and your life become still together. That little space, top of the inhale, bottom of the exhale. That's where what you seek finds you. Okay, let's take a nice long breath in, like we're getting a little bit ready for the climb again. Give yourself a little stretch and exhale. Okay. All right, thank you for joining me today and making it special. I hope it's feeling a little more special for you. And if you're enjoying the podcast, please share it with friends, like it, subscribe. This way, the type of content can stay alive and thrive, and it's because you're making it happen. I would love to hear your comments below, so please send me comments. Let's talk. And remember, there might be someone out there who really, really needs this particular message today, and you could be the reason that they hear it because you support Zen Maintenance and you support this kind of content. This podcast is about self-care and self-discovery for every age and every stage of life. We're using the wisdom teachings of yoga and related well-being practices to discover more about who you are and how to live your healthiest, happiest, most liberated life, one breath, one day at a time. And even if you've never set foot on a yoga mat, this is for you. If you want more enthusiasm, passion, health, happiness, and joy in your life. And of course you do. Okay. I'll see you next time.